This is the gospel according to the IRS, Breaking Points and Church Financial Updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
Today, I want to give you some special news, something that has just broke, something that I was thinking about your church when I heard about this story. The thing that we are involved with at our firm is major compliance. We believe that your church should be a house that's in order, and I know that you believe that too. However, I want to ask you a question. Who's checking the checker? In other words, my father always taught me this: don't ever let anybody handle your money who has less money than you do. My question to you today is, are you sure that all of the church funds are secure so that no one could be misappropriating those funds or embezzling those funds? I want to share something with you that's a special bulletin alert. It says church treasurer stole $1.5 million from her church. She was a treasurer at her church, and she admitted in federal court in Newark, New Jersey, that she had embezzled more than $1.5 million over 4 years. A 52-year-old lady pleaded guilty to tax evasion and transferring stolen money for personal gain. Now, ladies and gentlemen, some of the ways that she was doing that is she was paying some of her children's car insurance to her car insurance company with a church check. Some of the other ways is she was taking and paying personal credit cards with church checks. My question to you today is, do you have the proper controls in place so that you won't allow someone to be tempted more than they can stand or bear? I want to give you 3 points. Breaking news. Grab a pad and a pen. Here we go. Number 1, it's imperative that every check have 2 signatures on it for disbursement. Don't have a limit amount of $5,000 or $500. Ladies and gentlemen, today that we live, it's imperative and important for you to make sure that you've got every control possible in the ministry to make sure that someone's not going to be taking something that doesn't belong to them. You'll have to agree with me, $1.5 million is a lot of money over 4 years. How could the church be so lax? What kind of controls did the church not have? Why was the board, and you know we always hear about the board wanting to watch over everything. Well, board, why wasn't you watching over this $1.5 million? So number 1 is I want 2 signatures on every check. That's a requirement of this firm. Number 2, I want check request and I want purchase request signed by the appropriate people involved in each ministry department head before it goes to the order department and before it goes to the church check writing office. So number 1, 2 signatures on every check. Number 2, I want to make sure that you have a church check request and a church purchase order system in place. And the third thing is I want to make sure that you don't have just one person counting the church's funds. You must have at least 3 people counting those funds so that we can make sure that we have our house of worship in order. Don't let happen to you what happened to this church, $1.5 million. Do you know that one of the biggest ways that she was taking funds from the church is when people would write a check to the church and it came back insufficient funds, she would then take that check and redeposit that check into her personal bank account. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be very careful of what you're doing there. The last point that I'd like to give you on what she did, which I think is just extraordinary, I can't even believe that she could do it. But here's what she's done, and I've seen about everything. She would overpay the American Express credit card bill each month, sometimes by $2,000, sometimes by $5,000, sometimes by $10,000. She would overpay it. And then each month, American Express would call and say, look, you've overpaid your bill. Would you like for us to credit your account for the next payment period of the next month? Or would you like for us to issue a refund check? What do you think she said? She said that she wanted a refund check. When she got the refund check back from American Express, made payable to the church wouldn't see it because there wasn't a proper audit trail. She would take that check and put it in her personal bank account. That's how she stole $1.5 million. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money. Can you afford to take the chance of the church that you're at right now not being in order? Later on, those same church members sued the board of directors because they failed in their fiduciary capacity. Do you have the checks and balances in order to prevent an embezzlement or someone stealing $1.5 million from your church? I'm Michael Chitwood. I'll see you tomorrow.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.